After about 10 days since the news broke, Fernando Tatis Jr. addresses the media regarding his 80-game PED suspension, and he had a bunch of interesting things to say about the whole situation. But before we jump into it, you have to realize there was nothing that Fernando was going to say that was going to make all the fans in the world say, okay, we get it. We see why it happened. Okay, we love you. Don't worry about it. We don't care. So there is not a really win situation here for Fernando. It's just going out there and owning up to what he did. And that's exactly what he did. Fernando took the stand and he said, look, it wasn't my mom. It wasn't my doctor. I'm not going to blame anybody else. It's my fault. I took the treatment for my skin. I didn't check what was in there. I didn't give it to my team doctors. I knew that I was putting something else on my body or in my body that wasn't approved by MLB, and I did it anyways. It's my fault. I'm going to face the consequences. I'm sorry. I need to grow up and I need to be better. And after watching some clips of the interview, it actually looks like he meant it. Yeah, it's one thing to get out there in a statement for the MLB kind of representing Fernando, but it's another thing for him to step up there and actually say it with some meaning to it. And it looked like he was torn. It looked like he had been beaten up about it. Obviously, it's eating at him. He said he heard all the mean things his teammates said about him, and he said they are completely right to feel that way. He said even meaner things to himself in the mirror. He knows he blew the trust of all the young fans, all his teammates, Padres ownership, and he intends to build those all back in the years coming. And I think the biggest piece of news that came from this little conference is that Fernando announced he is going forward with a shoulder surgery, which he had put off last year. He had came out and said, no, he thinks he's young enough to heal. He doesn't need shoulder surgery. He thinks he can stay put together. And the Padres said, no, you need this surgery, dude, or the shoulder's going to keep popping out. He said, look, during rehab, there was some issues with his shoulder, so he's going to get that surgery done now. And this offseason, he's going to stay in San Diego for rehab, work out for next year in San Diego. He's not going to go back home. And that's a great, huge first step for him because it seems like all of his troubles come from when he's back home in the Dominican. Who knows what it is out there? Maybe he just thinks he has more freedom. Maybe there isn't as many cameras around to watch him what he's doing. But he's going to be in San Diego. He's going to be rehabbing. He's going to be under the supervision of the Padres. So hopefully he is going to stay out of trouble. I think this will be a big, huge step for him. I'm confident Fernando has learned from this and he's going to be better in the future. Another piece of interesting news coming from this news conference is that Fernando said he got the news about his failed test sometime in late July, which means that he knew way before the Padres knew because he appealed it right away, but then finding out about what he tested positive for, he dropped the appeal on the day that the Padres found out. So this was before the Padres had Juan Soto, all those deals. He knew himself but didn't tell anybody. And that's not weird because the Padres didn't need to know if it wasn't anything serious. And right away, Fernando thought it was probably something that was wrong. But after finding out, dropping the appeal, that's when it came out to the Padres. And that's just a crazy little piece of information that I found interesting. He still has 12 years left on his deal, so doing something like this was huge for Fernando and the Padres organization together because this relationship needs to build back strong, and I think it's going to do that. And that's it for this video. Fernando didn't say much more than, I'm sorry, I own up to it, it's my fault, I'll be better. And that's all he could have said. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about his comments. If you have some other view, let me know in the comments. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.